What if one of hip-hop's most calculated artists just pulled off the ultimate chess move, quietly setting up not one, but two major releases right under everyone's nose? Because that's exactly the storm brewing around J. Cole right now. While fans thought they were bracing themselves for the fall-off, sources close to the rollout say the situation has officially gone from highly anticipated to full-blown chaos in the best way possible. Whispers from Cole's camp, side comments from rap royalty, and a few too-perfect accidents have all lined up to suggest that the Dreamville General is about to flood the culture with music. And not someday, not eventually, but soon. And if that wasn't enough to get your heart racing, insiders are hinting that this moment could define not just Cole's career, but an entire era of rap. Before we go further, support me by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. It helps a lot. The fall-off has been looming, teased, delayed, debated, and mythologized. But just when fans thought they had a handle on what to expect, Cole's official album page dropped a detail that changed everything. Quietly, almost casually, the team confirmed that the fall-off isn't just an album. It's a full-scale double-disc experience. And not in the streaming era sense of long playlist energy, but in a very real, very physical way. For vinyl records. Let that sink in. Anyone who's ever flipped through a crate knows what that means. Each disc typically carries around 40 minutes of music, give or take. Do the math. And suddenly we're talking about nearly 2.5 hours of material. That's not filler territory. That's legacy-building runtime. That's the kind of space artists reserve for statements, reflections, and final words. And this is where eyebrows started going up across the industry. Because J. Cole isn't known for padding his projects. He's meticulous, purposeful. If he's committing to something this massive, there's clearly more at play. Collectors were the first to notice something felt off. In a good way. People who managed to secure the fall-off vinyl box set started comparing notes online. For records, multiple sleeves, subtle differences in packaging, and suddenly, a theory began to circulate. What if everything in that box wasn't just the fall-off? Industry watchers started connecting dots. Historically, double albums usually top out at 2 discs, maybe 3 if an artist's feeling ambitious. 4? That's rare. Excessive. Even, unless there's a twist. And according to sources familiar with the rollout strategy, that twist might be hiding in plain sight. The rumor? Buyers didn't just pre-order an album. They unknowingly secured an entirely separate project. One that hasn't even been officially announced yet. During a recent episode of a popular hip-hop podcast hosted by 2 veteran voices in the culture, the conversation drifted toward recent releases and upcoming projects. One host was talking freely, casually bouncing from topic to topic. But the other, a Yonkers legend known for his razor-sharp bars and even sharper instincts. Almost too casually, he mentioned that J. Cole not only has the fall-off on the way, but also another project entirely. According to him, Cole has been in the lab reworking classic beats. Yes, those beats, and turning them into something new. The kind of beats that defined an era. The kind that raised generations of rappers. And just like that, the floodgates opened. According to that podcast revelation, this mystery project plays like a modern-day mixtape. Cole rapping over legendary instrumentals, paying homage while reimagining the past through a present-day lens. Sources say he's touched beats associated with iconic groups and artists from the late 90s and early 2000s, delivering verses that feel both respectful and competitive. And those close to the situation say this isn't a rough draft situation. This is polished, intentional, cleared, which means Cole didn't just hop on these beats for fun. He reached out. He got the blessings. He had conversations with the very people who made those records timeless. Think about that visual for a second. A modern rap superstar sitting down with legends, pressing play, and saying, "Here's what I did with your beat." That's not just confidence, that's reverence. If you go back and really listen to the recent teasers, especially the outros tucked into recent visuals, the signs are everywhere. A familiar sample here, a reworked rhythm there. The soundscape feels nostalgic but upgraded, like hearing an old memory through brand new speakers. One outro, in particular, raised alarms. The beat was unmistakable to heads who know their history, but the execution felt fresh, cleaner, more cinematic. That's when fans realized this wasn't just a one-off tribute. This was a theme, Sources say Cole has been quietly building this project for years, testing ideas, experimenting on lissies, and refining the concept until the timing felt right. And now, with the fall-off approaching, everything is finally lining up. Here's the bigger picture that's starting to come into focus. This mystery mixtape isn't about chasing charts. It's about context. Cole has always positioned himself as a student of the game. And with this project, he's reportedly aiming to bridge generations, introducing younger fans to the sounds that shape the culture, while reminding longtime listeners why those records mattered in the first place. For fans who never lived through the raw energy of late 90s East Coast rap, this could be a gateway. For veterans, it's a reminder that their era still echoes through today's music. And, strategically, it's brilliant. By honoring the past, Cole strengthens his standing in the present, especially during a moment when his choices and alliances have been under intense scrutiny. One thing that confused fans early on was the tonal shift between recent releases. On one hand, you have deeply personal tracks, Cole reflecting on family, legacy, and life beyond rap. On the other, you hear sharp, competitive bars that sound like he's ready to step back into the ring. Now, that contrast makes sense. According to insiders, the mixtape is where the sport lives, the technical flexing, the bar-heavy performances, the competitive spirit. The Fall Off, meanwhile, is expected to be a fully realized narrative album, a reflective, emotional body of work meant to be absorbed slowly. Dropping these two energies separately gives each its own space to breathe. No rushing, no emotional whiplash. Here's where things get even more interesting. With the Fall Off locked in for early February, sources believe the mixtape could arrive any day now. Some speculate a surprise drop tied to a meaningful date. Others think Cole might release it with zero warning, classic mixtape style. And from a strategy standpoint, that makes sense. A mixtape landing shortly before a major album would reignite momentum, dominate conversation, and remind everyone exactly why Cole's pen is still feared. But whatever the timing ends up being, one thing is clear. The window is closing, and the drop feels imminent. Let's be real. The bar is sky high. Fans aren't just expecting good music. They're expecting greatness. The kind of projects that get discussed years later. The kind that spark debates, rankings, and rewinds. And while that pressure would crush most artists, those close to Cole say he's fully aware of the stakes. That's why this rollout feels so deliberate, so layered. Nothing about this feels rushed or careless. Whether people agree with every move he's made or not, this moment captures exactly why hip-hop remains so powerful. The anticipation, the debate, the emotion, the history. Zoom out for a second. This isn't just about one rapper dropping music. It's about a conversation between eras. It's about respect, legacy, and evolution. Cole isn't just releasing projects. He's curating an experience. One that invites fans to listen differently, to revisit classics, and to appreciate the lineage that connects today's stars to yesterday's pioneers. And regardless of how the numbers shake out, that kind of intention already makes this moment special. So here we are, standing at the edge of what could be one of the most memorable moments in modern rap. Two projects, two moods, one artist with everything to gain and everything to prove. The only question left is how it all lands. Fans are watching, the culture is listening, and the countdown has officially begun. Now it's your turn. What do you think is coming first? Which classic beats do you want to hear reimagined? And are you ready for J. Cole to flood the game one last time? Drop your thoughts below, keep your notifications on, and make sure you're subscribed. Because when this finally unfolds, you won't want to miss a single second of the aftermath.